A devastating tragedy had struck the Nigerian military in Borno State as 9 soldiers have lost their lives following an explosion caused by improvised explosive devices planted by Boko Haram terrorists near Gubio. This incident occurred over the weekend and has once again highlighted the persistent security challenges facing our troops in the northeast region. The soldiers who fell victim to this attack were members of the 145 Battalion in Damasak under the 5th Brigade in Maiduguri, and they were simply traveling back from Maiduguri town when this horrific event unfolded. What makes this incident particularly heartbreaking is how it developed. According to exclusive information from a top military source speaking to Sahara reporters, these soldiers had stopped at a camp along the road on Sunday evening to rest before continuing their journey on Sunday. They were being cautious, they were following protocol, yet tragedy still found them. When they resumed their journey towards evening on Sunday, the vehicle struck explosive devices that had been strategically planted along the route by Boko Haram insurgents. The immediate aftermath was catastrophic. 8 soldiers died on Sunday from injuries sustained in the blast, and this morning, Monday, 1 more soldier succumbed to his injuries, bringing the death toll to 9. The military source was very clear about what happened here. This was not an ambush where gunmen opened fire on the troops. This was a calculated attack using planted explosive devices, the kind of weapon that has become a signature tactic of terrorist groups operating in the region. The explosives were so powerful that many of the victims suffered severed body parts, and the images captured after the incident show the brutal reality of what these soldiers faced. Many other soldiers sustained serious injuries, and there are concerns that the casualty numbers could rise as those injured continue to fight for their lives. The location of this attack is significant. Gubio has been a flashpoint in the ongoing insurgency, and the road network in this area has become increasingly dangerous for military personnel and civilians alike. Boko Haram and their counterparts in the Islamic State West Africa province have perfected the deadly art of planting these improvised explosive devices along routes frequently used by security forces. They study movement patterns, they identify vulnerable points, and they strike with devastating effect. These are not random acts of violence, but carefully planned operations designed to inflict maximum damage on our military and to create fear and instability in the region. What this incident tells us is that despite years of military operations and government assurances about defeating the insurgents, the threat remains very real and very deadly. Our soldiers are out there risking everything, traveling through hostile territory, trying to protect civilians and maintain security, yet they continue to face these asymmetric threats that are difficult to counter. The use of improvised explosive devices is particularly challenging because detecting them requires specialized equipment and training, and even then, determined insurgents can find ways to conceal these weapons effectively. This is not an isolated incident. In November of last year, we reported on a similar attack where suspected ISWAP fighters ambushed a Nigerian military convoy in the northeast, killing several soldiers and members of the Civilian Joint Task Force. In that attack, the insurgents even abducted a serving brigade commander along with other military personnel. These coordinated assaults demonstrate that the insurgent groups remain organized, well-armed, and capable of carrying out sophisticated operations against our security forces. The pattern is clear and deeply troubling. If you're finding this coverage informative and you want to stay updated on important developments happening across Nigeria, please take a moment to hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you never miss our reports. We are committed to bringing you the facts as they happen, and your support helps us continue this important work. The Nigerian Army has not yet released an official statement about this latest incident, which is concerning because families of these fallen soldiers deserve answers, and the Nigerian public needs to understand the full scope of what happened. Transparency in these matters is crucial, not just for accountability, but also for public confidence in our military institutions. When soldiers die in service to their country, their sacrifice should be acknowledged promptly, and their families should receive immediate support. The broader context here is that the Northeast has been battling this insurgency for over a decade now, and despite numerous military offensives with names like Operation Lafia Dole and others, the fundamental security situation has not improved to the level where our troops can move freely without fear of attack. Villages continue to be raided, people are still being displaced, and our soldiers continue to pay the ultimate price. The resilience of these insurgent groups speaks to several factors, including their ability to recruit, their access to weapons and explosives, their knowledge of the terrain, and possibly the challenges our military faces in terms of equipment, intelligence gathering, and operational strategy. For the families of these 9 soldiers, this is a moment of unimaginable grief. These were men who put on the uniform knowing the risks, who left their homes to serve in one of the most dangerous regions in the country, and who will never return to their loved ones. Their sacrifice should remind us all that security is not free, and that there are real people paying real costs for the relative peace many Nigerians enjoy in other parts of the country. We must honor their memory not just with words, but with genuine commitment to ending this insurgency and ensuring that no more soldiers die unnecessarily. The broader question many Nigerians are asking is what more can be done? Are our troops receiving adequate intelligence about insurgent movements? Do they have the right equipment to detect and neutralize improvised explosive devices? Are the routes they travel being properly secured and swept for explosives before convoys pass? Is there enough troops deployed in these areas to provide mutual support when attacks occur? These are not easy questions, and the answers require honest assessment from military leadership and political authorities. As we continue to follow this story, we'll bring you updates on any official statements from the Nigerian Army, information about the injured soldiers and their conditions, and any developments regarding military operations in response to this attack. This is a developing situation, and it's important that Nigerians stay informed about the security challenges our country faces and the sacrifices being made by our armed forces. Make sure you're subscribed and stay connected for all the latest updates.